Now this is the area where I'm putting my bees. Bees are coming back. They were on their own pads in my old property, but when we moved some time back, Brian is a very good friend of mine, excellent beekeeper, been beekeeping for over half a century. Brian's looking after my bees at the moment. So we put the pads down and we're going to move them a little bit closer to spring onto these 3 pads. There's one here waiting for a hive, another one here slightly longer, and one here. And you might say to yourself, hold up, what is that intricate design? Is there different sizes of bee houses and why one in the middle is slightly longer and a different colour? The answer is no, there was just slabs left over from a job. And that's the magic. If you've ever thought of keeping bees yourself, it is a marvellous hobby. It really is. You know, the taste of that honey, fresh, it's absolutely fantastic. It's got a lovely, lovely soft flavour to it, and it's so very good for you as well, of course. The British Beekeepers Association do a training course. It's almost like evening classes. I did it about 10 years ago. I think it was about 12 weeks. So you go and do evening classes, and then you get kitted up and have a go with other training beekeepers. So if you fancy doing it, it's a really worthwhile course. It's not a lot of money, and they'll show you how you can keep bees in your own garden, because you don't need masses of spaces. You can do it in a relatively small spot. So have a look. British Beekeepers Association, marvellous association, full of very passionate people about bees who are very keen to share their knowledge. So in this area here, our bees come home. When we moved house, you know, obviously the family came with us. And quite a few plants. I don't know how that happened, in pots and containers over the far side they've got to go in. And of course the tortoise made it over here as well, but the bees, they haven't. And soon as the bees are back in the Domini household, then I'll really feel like it's a home and we've got our garden back. Okay, it's an important part. There's quite a few of us helping out in the Grow Your Own area now. I mentioned just the other day that part of our plan, we're putting irrigation underneath the paths and actually buried into the beds. So this is the main feeder pipe. This would effectively just clip on to the end of a hose. You know, normal hose attachment, you can just clip one onto the other. If you're ever putting irrigation into your own garden, it's a pretty simple, you know, click and go. That matches in with hose fitments all over the country, so it's pretty universal. So our aim is to dig the hole, so the pipe work will go from the feed from the mains, but you won't be able to see any of the piping. It's going to be underneath the path here, so we're going to put the foundation on top, which is MOT, just around the top, which is Ministry of Transport. It's really type 1 as we call it. It's just chippings of different sizes that bed in, and then we'll put the cement and the topping on top. We're actually going to bury it in alongside of the beds here, so it's going to go down to the... It's not the easiest thing to fit in during the winter because it's quite rigid, the hose. During the summer, of course, as it warms up, it's a little bit more flexible. But the key thing is we're going to need access points where the pipes are under the ground, and here we bury into the ground this, which enables us to get inside. As you can see, there's some workings within there. There's on off and solenoid or something similar into that part, and that'll be buried into the ground with an access point which enables me to get inside and make some changes. And then of course from these pipes within this bed, I'll be able to put smaller pipes to take the water from the big water feed and spray out. Some of them may just be a sort of like a 45-degree angle, may put one in each corner to spray and water the whole of the bed. You know, you can get all sorts, spray in one direction, 360, a whole host of the others. But by getting the irrigation system now, it's a bit mucky at the beginning, man, that's going to make it so easy. You know, I can either pre-program it to go off at certain days, to increase the flow during the hot days and decrease it during the cooler, at a click of a button if I need to, or automatically if I pre-program. So there's a lot of fanning about and a lot of hose, and I have to confess, if it looks nice and easy, it's been a right tangle before we started. And of course I've got extra pressure. I was in the dentist this morning, a filling fell out. Anyway, he's fixed it, but ooh, that gum's a bit sensitive. can I say at this point, I am getting no sympathy whatsoever.